Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to the Popternative podcast. This is the podcast where we have digital discussions for the worlds of TV, film, social media, sports, pop culture, everything. We cover it all. As always, I'm your host, Peter Remoliotis. On Twitter, you know me as PD Beats. My guest is a musician who was recently featured on the latest season of America's Got Talent. He was Howie Mandel's golden buzzer. We are speaking to Joseph Allen. Joseph, welcome to Popternative.
That was a super cool intro, man. Thank you. I'm honored.
Well, I bet, it's been just nonstop on your end, man.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, and it's it's a journey, man. Like being on the show, they try and really, help guide you and make sure, you're prepared for, the world of a lot of people knowing who you are and stuff. So, I can definitely say I think I'm getting used to it now.
Oh, absolutely. So for people who do follow you, you recently put a documentary on your YouTube channel about kind of your journey and everything. Yeah. But for the people who haven't checked it out yet, I'll put the links and everything in my description. But what made you kind of decide that maybe going on America's Got Talent was something that you needed to do?
For me, America's Got Talent is a machine, man. They're, if not one of the best, if not the best television show in terms of creating, major publicity and major popularity for individuals who partake. So for me, I knew, all I needed to do was, take my shot on the show and see what I could do. And I thought that would be a great way for me to get the type of exposure necessary in this type of industry.
Whether you're a musician, an actor, a writer, a director, you're all storytellers. When did Joseph Allen decide that he wanted to be a storyteller?
For me, I think I've always been a storyteller. In the third grade is where I really found music, and that's because I was always trying to get attention in class. Even when it wasn't, let's say, the best timing and stuff, and whether that be class clown or trying to entertain the students, that was always something that I feel like I had inside of me. So. In the third grade, that's where the choir teacher at the school, he finally decided instead of me getting in trouble in class, he gave me an avenue to where I could, perform and entertain people. And now I'm telling my story, on the big stages.
I love how you use the word avenue. People have used, avenue. People have used kind of a vehicle of distribution and promotion. I really like that term, avenue. It's really cool. What do you kind of think about the development of with social media, with Spotify and with YouTube, getting your story out there has obviously become a lot easier for a lot of people. What do you kind of think about the development of the vehicle of distribution on social media, and how has it specifically impact Joseph Allen these past couple of weeks?
Yeah, this is we live in a world where you can make a lot of noise, whether you're on some TV show or if you're in some village in who knows where, as long as you have a phone and you have all these different ways of, putting yourself out there to the world. If you can find an interesting way to express yourself, I feel like, social media and everything that we have right now, the platforms are ridiculous,
Absolutely. I'm sure there's a lot of America's Got Talent stories that you can obviously share. You have a big smile on your face right now. You can't put that experience, you can't put a dollar value on how amazing that experience must have been to you. The knowledge that you probably learned, it must have been just insane overall.
Yeah, it's super crazy. The whole process, it's a learning process for sure. You get to experience things that you typically wouldn't get to experience unless you were in the position of being on the show. And I can definitely say I've grown a lot from being on the show, and just the fun times backstage with the other contestants and everything, and just being a part of this whole show together. It's like, it seriously does feel like almost like a family with all the contestants. So it's super cool. It's super, super cool.
I think the one thing that gets kind of lost, like fell in the cracks, they call it like America's Got Talent. I mean, it is a talent show, but at the same time, it's one of those things where you're a singer. There's a lot of singers that go on. There are other shows as well that are for singers. You know what I mean? There's The Voice. There's American Idol as well. This is a show where other people, like other acts, like acrobatic acts, certain dance acts that you won't see anywhere else could also be. So I feel like the singers kind of have a lot more kind of competition and have to face more adversity at America's Got Talent than other shows. What do you kind of think about that dynamic?
Yeah, for me, I don't think shows like The Voice or anything like that would have been my forte. I think America's Got Talent is very versatile just because it allows you to, for example, for me, I got to sing and rap, and also I feel like my character also played a part in, the entire story of Joseph Allen. And, it's the world's biggest talent show. So for me, like, instead of, just focusing on the singing and all this different stuff, like, I wanted to really put myself up against, anything, and that's what this show offers. It's literally anything. So it was super crazy.
We talked about it before. I mean, you are seeing kind of the impact it's had, on your social media channels and your Instagram. Have you kind of seen the impact or the potential impact of it for your music career in terms of touring or maybe getting a record label? Has that kind of sunk in at all?
Yeah, in this day and age, there's a lot of people who do it independently. A lot of people who, decide to gain, leverage and gain traction first before, even looking into the labels. And some people don't look into the labels at all. But, for me, I don't know. I feel like I have more than just music to offer. I try and offer myself, almost like Will Smith, like, he got popular with his music and then, went into a whole lot of different avenues. So for me, that's kind of the thing is I just want to see where this goes. Like I'm literally just winging it, man. Like I moved out here to LA. I'm just taking it, for what it is, taking it one day at a time. And, whatever comes out of it, comes out of it. But whether that be I'm signed to a label and I'm putting out music on the radio stations and stuff, or whether that be I'm doing it independently and growing the fan base by different types of entrepreneurial ventures like YouTube and all this different stuff. Like for me, it's just taking it one day at a time and trying to stay authentic with the people who support me. That's the last thing I want to do is be putting out stuff that's not authentic to Joseph Allen or that's not going to actually impact, my supporters and everything that can inspire and, help people, keep being the best versions of themselves. That's what I'm trying to focus on right now.
For sure. I'm really excited to actually ask you this question right now because it's kind of a hallmark of my show. But I usually ask people about misconceptions of the industry. So what I want to know, what I mean by that is, someone is going to tell you something and you're going to be like, man, it is the complete opposite of what you just told me in terms of the experience. What are some misconceptions about live television that you experience? Do people think that it's all kind of laid back and everything's prepped for you? Is it more insane than people think it is in terms of running around and hair and makeup? What are some misconceptions of the industry based on your experiences with America's Got Talent that you're allowed to share?
So, the first time you see like a crazy magic trick, right? And you're like, yo, this is wild. Like, how did you do that? Being on the show, it was basically, I went from seeing the magic trick to understanding how the magic trick works. So I feel like that's the best way I can say it without, exposing too much. It's just, learning how the magic trick works and then seeing, really the type of operation that goes into play to make sure that, everyone at home and everyone who views the magic trick enjoy it, so.
So everyone's losing their mind at home, like, whoa, what a trick. And you're kind of just there like, like, I know how you did it.
Well, I'm actually impressed also by the sleight of hand. I can say that. So it's like, there's a lot of work. They actually, put it, they break their backs to make sure, the show goes well and to make sure the contestants have everything they need. So It's
I find it funny
super
because
cool.
my dad's a big fan of the show because of the magic tricks, and I find it funny because like we're watching the show, and we're like, how did he do that? It must be fake. Like obviously it's fake. It's an illusion. It's amazing how they did it. You know what I mean? Just like look, can't we just leave it at that? You know what I mean? Like
yeah, it's there's multiple different talents on the show, and just the effort that everyone puts in, like even the people who help assist you with like wardrobe and everything like that, like they're a well-oiled machine and they work really hard to make sure the show goes smoothly. So it was crazy to see like how hard everyone works in Hollywood.
it was a life-changing, and it was a learning experience for Joseph Allen being on this show. What were some of the biggest takeaways and learning experiences from your stint on America's Got Talent that you're going to take to the future?
For me, it's just understanding, the hard work that I have to put in. Like I got to see, like firsthand, like how hungry people are for this stuff, and one, I have to make sure I don't lose myself in the chase. Making sure I don't start doing things that aren't authentic to me or that don't come off as genuine. But also understanding like the hard work. It is a job. It's a dream job, but it is a job. You have to clock in. You have to make sure you're waking up and being the best version of yourself. So what I took away was just a lot in terms of the hard work that goes in.
No, absolutely. What's next? I mean, you said you're winging it, but like, what's next for Joseph Allen? Like, what's going on lately?
Yeah, so I've been working on music. I've been grinding super hard to try and make sure I have some good music ready for whenever the time comes where I decide to drop that. And me and Parker, who's my friend and works as my videographer, we're on YouTube and we're trying to figure out what avenues to go in that direction. Because like I said, I'm not just looking just to put music out. I'm looking to put myself out there and give as much as myself as I can without exhausting myself. So that's what's next is continuously growing and continuously trying to be the best version of myself.
For people that want to kind of make music and do some of the things that Joseph Allen does, what kind of experience, based on your past experience, advice based on your past experiences, can you kind of bestow on them in terms of kind of getting out there? Because we know it's a very competitive industry. We know it's so one thing people don't talk about a lot, man, is songwriting is hard. Like I used to play in bands. Writing songs is not easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what advice could you kind of give?
Yeah, that's actually that's the advice I would give. Is contrary to what you said. A lot of people will tell you to anyone who wants to chase a dream of or chase any dream. Actually, a lot of people will tell you that it's hard and that it's difficult, and the work may not be easy, but doing anything like for example, you with this podcast, right? Like it may be hard work at times, but it's not hard. It's what you want to do. So if it's what you want to do, it's that easy. Do it. So anything that anyone wants to do out there, like it's that simple. Like if you want to do it. Like literally, like if you want to run a marathon, it's that easy. Like go run it. You know what I mean? Like the marathon itself might not be the easiest of work, but if there's anything you want to do, you want to write a song. You want to, do A, B, C, and D, do it. So that's what I've been trying to live by is, anything that I want to do, I'm trying to, just do it. And, it may not be easy work, but the decision is easy, so that's the best advice I can give.
Your audition on America's Got Talent, turned a lot of heads and a lot of people loved it. And, obviously Howie Mandel loved it because it got the golden buzzer. What do you think? Because there's many elements. There was the song, there was the rapping, there was the music, there was your story. Yeah. I don't know if you could pick one, but can you kind of pick one of those elements that kind of stood out compared to the rest, which made it kind of more impactful?
I just think it was just the whole moment in itself, the whole energy of the moment. Like everything was just coming off authentic. at that moment. And because it was all real and all authentic, I feel like that translated, and I feel like everyone who was there felt that, and it just created this moment that was just big, and I'm glad a lot of people are able to be inspired and take away from that. And that's what I try and, live by, is just trying to be as authentic and as, real as I can be. So, that's I think the biggest thing, is that moment was a real one. That moment was a literal dream come true. It was crazy.
Absolutely. Well, Joseph, we will wrap up, but thank you so much for coming on Popternative, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man. It's super cool.
No, absolutely. Where can people follow you on social media? Plug the YouTube. Plug away, man. The stage is yours.
Yeah. So you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at It's Joseph Allen. Don't forget the It's. The It's is there. And after you find me on there at It's Joseph Allen, you can find me on YouTube at Joseph Allen. And on there we're chopping away, trying to keep putting content out, keep it growing.
Well, keep the grind up, man, and I wish you all the best, dude. Seriously.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. I won't let you down.
No problem. Well, this has been Popternative. YouTube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. If you might want to see Joseph Allen's face, but if you don't want to see my face, you just want to listen to this episode, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, we're there as well. So be able to subscribe there. Until next time, this is Joseph Allen and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.